see these beautiful microgreens here. We're all going to get to learn about microgreens and how to plant and grow our own. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. So, everybody, please give a warm welcome to Tom and Laura.
They're super healthy. They're very inexpensive to grow. And thirdly, they're easy to grow. So we're going to talk about each one of those points. The first about the healthy part, they are hugely nutrient dense. Variety of studies out there. Michael Greger now is even saying that this has replaced red cabbage as the best bang for your buck as far as nutrient density, growing your own microgreens. And along those lines, he's one of the several leaders in the plant-based community that are so convinced that greens are healthy that he has a personal goal. This is Michael Greger has a personal goal of eating a whole pound of greens a day. This is a pound. They are hugely nutrient dense. Variety of studies out there. Michael Greger now is even saying that this has replaced red cabbage as the best bang for your buck as far as nutrient density, growing your own microgreens. And along those lines, he's one of the several leaders in the plant-based community that are so convinced that greens are healthy that he has a personal goal. This is Michael Greger has a personal goal of eating a whole pound of greens a day. This is a pound box. The reason that he's convinced that that's so healthy is because of the nutrient density in greens. Well, I'm here to tell you that these are way more nutrient dense than these mature organic spring mix. So not baby leaves, but the mature leaves. Even the USDA studies are showing that of 32 different kinds of microgreens that they studied, they were at least 5 times more nutrient dense than the mature leaves. And then there's variation in those amounts depending on which nutrients you're looking at. Like vitamin K, the microgreens for red cabbage, so red cabbage seeds that are grown to this stage, 69 times more vitamin K and 6 times more vitamin C. So hugely good for you. But this can be, like I said, this can be a challenge to eat all these. So what I'm suggesting today is if you learn how to grow these and do it yourself, because it's so easy and so inexpensive, you can supplement your salads and even have a whole salad of these, as we've done when we ran out of these. Well, let's just cut a tray down and that's the salad. And whoa, we're packing real nutrient punch there. So the second point about cost. We bought for tonight a 32-quart bag of organic soil. For each of your trays, it was probably 1.5 quarts. So that turns out to be less than 50 cents for the soil. Your container needs to be food grade, needs to be very clean. If you're going to reuse, you can reuse your container, but you need to clean it well before you reuse it once you're done. The amount that you have, it was 1/4 cup before they were soaked. And so that turned out to be 40 cents. So we're now up to $1.40. You can get a gallon plastic bag of microgreens for $12. Thank you. This size. Thank you. Right there. Yeah. If you do the math, we were eating a bag of those a week on our salads, in our soups and stews as a garnish in sandwiches. So that's over $600 a year. We're using way more than that now because they're readily available. You're growing, what we have today is legumes. It's a black-eyed pea. And so what legumes do is they take nitrogen from the air and they will fix it into their roots. So nitrogen is a fertilizer So it's a natural way to improve the soil. So you can reuse this soil one more time. As you see, what you have is just this container. And what Tom did is he took an awl and put 5 holes. Do you want to demo that?
Sure.
He put 5 holes into the bottom of your container because drainage is very important. If you don't let it drain, then you have more likely the root will rot.
All right.
Missed this
That's
finger.
all done.
I like
You
tools.
put your soil in, it should be up to about your second knuckle. That's how you know how far to go. Before you plant then, the soil should be a little damp, like a sponge. So if you touch your soil, it should feel a little bit moist, but not soggy. You've got the black-eyed peas, which is what this is. They're so fast. This is less than a week old. And they're ready to cut. I mean, I could have cut them yesterday. So how do you know when they're ready? Let me just go into this just a second. If you see on here, there's these little seed leaves. These first leaves that are down here,
Yeah.
those are called the seed leaves. And they're not real leaves. These are the real leaves.
See something?
Sorry?
Cotyledon.
Seed?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
C-O-T-E-L-Y.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. So these are the true leaves, and that's how you know it's time. That's what makes this a microgreen. Some people want to know what's the difference between sprouts and a microgreen. A sprout is the root and just the seed leaves. If you let the plant go to the next stage and the true leaves develop, then it's a microgreen. You want to harvest them before they get their next leaves. So if you look close, you'll be able to see. If you look later, you get right up close and see it just starting to get the next leaves going. So these are ready. These are ready.
To harvest.
Do you eat the bottom part too? The little thing on the bottom? Those little, whatever those little round
Those with the
things are?
Yeah, where do you
Do
snip?
you eat the first thing?
Yeah, right at the bottom.
Okay, so
Okay.
I-
Right, that's
so I
soil.
eat all-
So
everything.
you,
So you do get the seeds with some of them.
Yes. And these have been in the house. I'm now putting them in the laundry room because there's nothing in there that chews on them. They will be kind of yellowish green. But if you just set them outside for just an hour, they green up. You have a heavy bean or a pea, a legume, you need to soak them overnight, and that promotes the germination so they don't just mold in your soil. They will sprout quickly.
so if you were doing like mung beans, you wouldn't do them overnight because they'd really grow.
I have some mung beans, and they probably would, but you can soak them for under 8 hours, maybe
Okay.
4 or 6 hours. These soaked for longer than that. These soaked all
These are
night.
much
and-
harder.
Yeah, they need to soak at least 8 hours.
Okay.
So if you're going to soak sunflower seeds, I've done these before, and they come out pretty good.
Are
They
those
float.
The black sunflower seed?
I'll pass them around so you can see. They float, and so you need to put them in a bag. You can use like a laundry kind of bag to hold them down into the water. Otherwise, you're just. Now you're going to just pour your seeds.
You don't
Just
bury
sprinkle
them?
them over the top.
All of
Oh,
them?
just
All of
sprinkle
them. You want them to be very close.
Oh.
dense crop.
Good luck, guys.
Well, yours are pretty tight in there, aren't they?
Yeah.
They don't have. It doesn't matter if their little stem is up or down.
Nope, they'll find their way.
Wow.
Self-sufficient. I didn't have
What's
that
that?
much luck with my kids.
Oh,
He kept showing back up at home.
She'll demonstrate, right?
well, this part is
Okay.
easy.
Sorry.
With the kids.
Yeah, I know. They keep finding their way back to the house. I tried moving everything.
So we're sprinkling them densely. So once you have them all, and this was a 1/4 cup dry. That's what you have for this size pan. If you need to spread them out a little bit more, like if they've clumped up, just spread them out. They're still going to be close. They're going to be touching. But if you've got a little space that doesn't have one, just move somebody else into that spot. And then just with your hand, press down on them. Just press them into the soil. so you get good contact into the soil.
This is good for your gut microbiome.
Right. When you're all done with that, then you're going to take a spray bottle of water and just spray. Light spray. You'll take more soil and just sprinkle it just lightly over the top.
Wet or dry?
This is dry right now,
Oh, and then you'll spray it.
and then we'll spray it again.
Until they're completely covered, or?
Just lightly covered. I'll show you.
Green thumbs are not my big thing.
I can cook anything.
Huh?
We'll see.
And sometimes you'll find a big piece of bark, and that might be a good thing to pull out. So it's going to kind of look like this. They're just barely covered. In the case of these black-eyed peas, you're going to cover them. Once you take this home, cover it with something. Something to block the light. You want them to be in the dark. Or you could even get another one of these. Just something not even 1/4 pound, pretty light. But what that will do for this kind of a microgreen is it makes the stems stronger, makes them push. With the little seeds, you do not cover them. And once you see your pan or your cover rising up a little bit, then you know the seed leaves. Remember the seed leaves?
Right.
The
ones
seed
with the
leaves?
seed.
These little seed leaves, once you see them up, it's time to take the cover off, put them in a sunnier spot. So keep them in the dark, no matter what seed it is. Keep it in the dark. I think it's probably fine to cover, if you just want to be simple, cover it. Any of them in the direct hot afternoon sun. Part of putting the lid on, it keeps it humid conditions, and you don't have to worry so much about watering it, but you do need to check, because we all have different conditions.
Now, do you water them with just the spray?
When they're really little, you can just spray. I watered this twice in a
Just
week.
like pour water?
I poured water on it. For your conditions, wherever you are, check it. Put your finger in there. If it feels dry, give it some water. If it feels moist at all, don't. As far as cutting them and how you use them, scissors seem to work the best. You just grab them, cut right at the soil line.
Aw, look how pretty.
It's like a first haircut.
Yeah.
We didn't get a picture.
And then and as much as you want for your garnish, your salad, your sandwich, your soup, your stew, they're so beautiful. So what you can do now, even though it's clean and the soil was organic, I don't know if I'm going to put it in there. I still would throw it in the salad spinner. Throw them in there, rinse them off. Put it in here. After you've rinsed it, you spin. I know most of you have used a salad spinner before, and then you're good to go.
So once you snip them, they're done.
Well, these will grow again. They won't be as flush. The second time, more will come out. And then you can use the soil again for something else because it's a legume. Yes, you're getting nitrogen from the atmosphere, from the air.
So you've enriched it. So this
You've
would be the
enriched-
stuff like
Yes.
if you were at
Good job, Tom.
I hope this inspired you guys at home to grow your own microgreens, and if you do, share with us what you grew, and if you have any tips that you want to share with us, we would love to see it. Just put that in the comments below, and remember, click up here to subscribe. And until next time, be strong, be well, and be green! Bye-bye!